In the late 19th century and early 20th century, the city of Winston was making its mark in a big way upon the business landscape of North Carolina. Local leaders realized that for the city to continue to grow to its potential, a sound civic infrastructure had to be in place. One of the first things they addressed was the need for a public library, which was fulfilled with the opening of a Carnegie Library on February 14, 1906. The new library spoke volumes about the role city leaders saw a public library playing in the community. When a need arose that would benefit the county, our leaders found a way to get the job done through a community-first spirit that would repeat itself time and again over the years. Libraries shape lives. Every day, children and adults walk through our doors and learn of worlds beyond anything they have ever known, transforming the way they think, what they believe, how they see themselves in the community and in the world.
I've been coming to this library for 33 years. I've watched it grow. I need to see it continue to grow.
We are also a place where memories are made. Recollections of Saturdays spent at the library, meeting friends for library-sponsored events, watching a movie, or simply losing oneself in a good book are often cited as some of the important times in the childhood of our patrons. The library has a long history as a community gathering place. In an age where technology encourages us to communicate from a distance, the library continues to encourage us to communicate face-to-face in an environment where relationships are formed through an open and honest exchange of thoughts and ideas.
Our library offers us all a sense of community and is such a valuable resource.
In recent years, Winston-Salem and Forsyth County have steadily moved toward a more diverse community. As this trend grows, the library will continue to offer services and resources to better prepare all segments of the population to contribute to the growth and well-being of the county. Casting its own shadow of change is the challenge of technology as more people turn to us for computers and the training to use them. An even greater challenge is the demand for internet access. As more employers require job seekers to complete applications online, the library must find additional space in which to offer more internet computers. Economic downturns present the most critical challenge. During the current recession, we have seen dramatic increases in people using library services as a starting point for job searches. When people lose jobs, they turn to us. The library's role as a place of comfort, help, and encouragement to those looking for work cannot be overstated.
The library has resources, entertainment, and technology for people who need it in this economy. Without the library, how would people be able to apply for jobs, learn new skills, be able to relax with a book or a movie? They would have to spend extra money on these things that they might not have. The library is invaluable.
As the demand for increased library services has grown, our potential to meet this demand is increasingly dictated by available space in the Central Library. Library services required by a 21st century community simply cannot be met through a mid-20th century building.
I'd like to see a more modern space. I've lived in other cities and the library is nice, but does look dated. In a city this size, with all the well-known businesses and universities, we need a more modern look. A library is considered to be one of the many welcome mats for a community.
Inflexible space, severely limited options for computer wiring, and cramped rooms for children's and teen programming are but a sampling of the daily challenges staff and the public face at Central. Central Library has served our community for over a half-century, but years of service have taken a toll. Maintenance issues require nearly constant attention. Library patrons share regular concerns to staff about poorly functioning heating and air conditioning units. Leaks as a result of major rainstorms often create safety hazards for customers who are forced to dodge barricades around wet floors. Forsyth County is growing. Nowhere is this more indicative than at either end of the county in Kernersville and Clemens. A successful bond vote would mean funds to provide brand new facilities in these rapidly growing areas. Both of these branches post high monthly totals in circulation and door count and are stretched nearly to capacity in the services they can offer. Since its opening in 1971, Kernersville Branch Library has struggled to provide adequate space for needed library services to a community that has seen steady growth over the last 30 years. As one of our oldest branches, Kernersville Library has run out of available room to add any additional public computers, the single most requested library resource by the public. Public meeting space is confined to a single basement level 10 by 20 foot room with folding chairs and tables that significantly limits the library's ability to function as a community gathering place. At the Clemens branch, the situation is even more challenging. A building of just 8,900 square feet must suffice for a library that consistently ranks first in monthly circulation numbers for the entire branch library system. Only Central Library circulates more materials. Clemens simply has no more room for new materials. Expansion of the collection has stopped. Currently, for every new item acquired, another item must be removed from the collection. Clemens is a library that is fueled, prepped, and ready to grow, but has nowhere to grow. It is landlocked in its current location with no possibility of expansion. Too few parking spaces, cramped staff work and storage areas, and no additional room to increase the number of public computers adds to the inevitable conclusion that the time is now for Clemens, like Kernersville, to have a new library. When a community builds new libraries, the world of commerce takes note. There is no better testament to a community's commitment to knowledge and lifelong learning than a modern library. As competition for economic development opportunities increase, companies often consider non-business factors in their decision where to locate. Having a good public library facility represents a commitment to both education and lifelong learning that businesses greatly value. What if new libraries were built in these communities? It would mean having room enough for children to discover the magic of books and learning in an environment that would fire their imagination.
There's nothing like holding a book in your hands and watching the kids' eyes get huge as they turn a page.
It would mean enough room to add computers and other needed technology for those who have no other access. It would mean having not just enough space, but the right space for resources, programs, and events to serve the needs of a vibrant community as we make our way in the 21st century. But go beyond the practical to that which a library does best. Imagine new libraries that inspire through the way they look, through designs that invite everyone to come inside and be part of something that's truly special, something incredible, that stimulates the senses of young and old alike. Libraries come alive through buildings in a way few other institutions can. This is the true potential of new libraries, and the change that could come about in a community that deserves nothing less. As it was in 1906 and again in 1952, when the need for a new library was self-evident, this community rolled up its sleeves, got to work, and made it happen. That time is upon us again. With your help, Winston-Salem and Forsyth County will have library facilities that will lead us all into a prosperous and rewarding future.